Meta just released a new update called Andromeda, and it has a huge impact on how you run ads to scale your D2C brand. And if you don't implement the things that I talk about today in this video, well, you'll be left behind and your ad performance will drop, guaranteed. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So this new called update Andromeda, what does it actually entail? The biggest thing that Andromeda is, the update is basically that Meta ads will be more likely to favor ad accounts with more variations, right? So I read the whole document myself, as well as other articles that Meta themselves released. I also summarized it in ChatGPT. And so the biggest things that actually change are 5 different things. The first one is the ad relevance, higher return on ROASs, more competitions is more ads, faster iterations, and scaling advantage for those who adopt well. And that is the thing that we'll be breaking down exactly on how you're able to create more ads that favor the Meta Andromeda algorithm. So the first thing is that with the Meta Andromeda release is that Meta will be able to match the ads way better with the people who are in a different awareness phases, as well as like the different interests they have. As you can see, the users see ads more likely to match their interests, and ads are more personalized. That means people are less annoyed and more likely to engage. In that regard, you get a higher return on ROAS because ads are better targeted, they're more relevant, and advertisers can get more value. Of course, this means that Meta has way more competition. It's getting easier and easier to do ad creatives. One of the biggest things for this thing is the AI of Meta. Right now, even if you launch ads, Meta generates images for you. So it will become easier and easier for brands to basically have different backgrounds, have different avatars, different headlines, all with the AI of Meta. The fourth thing is because you have way more possibilities of generating new ads with the Meta AI, you're able to iterate way faster. And the scaling advantages is that you were able to basically get more out of it. The thing is, how I always like to compare it is the same as basically having lottery tickets, right? So the way I like to compare it is like buying lottery tickets, right? If you look at it, the Meta ad auction or the bidding is basically one ad equals one lottery ticket. And now you have the choice of either buying multiple ads, so creating or buying multiple lottery tickets, so creating 50 different ads, or you can focus on creating 10 highly likely, like well-made ads that have a high likelihood of actually succeeding at the bidding auction. So it's either 50 okay ads that you want to do, or it's 10 super well-crafted ads. You have more ads in the system, you have a higher likelihood of actually beating the system and being favored because you put more creatives in it. That's the thing that is being said here, right? So it is more or a higher ad relevance. So the more ads you give Facebook, the more it will be able to match it. And so that is the thing that I will be breaking down for you today, is to actually make sure that your ICP that you created, I made a whole separate video about it, will be in the link description or somewhere here. It's just making sure that the ad resonates way harder with the core desire, with the core emotions from that avatar, right? So you got 5 different levels. The first one is basically always a typical setup. It's you have 3 hooks, you have 1 body, you have 1 CTA, which basically creates 3 creatives, right? So the main goal a lot of the times in this particular setup is that you want to make sure that there's proof of concept. So the hooks are working, the bodies are working, and you look at it at the hook rate as well as the hold rate. And by testing those things, your ROAS will go up and your CPA will go down because you're able to create better ads. The best thing that I always say is that you need to have an ad structure where 100% of your budget, where 40% goes to iterations, 40% goes to variations, and 20% goes to new stuff. And by doing those things, by just having this typical setup, you only have 3 creatives that you're testing. But of course, if they're really good, the chances are that you're able to beat the system. But I do not recommend this, right? Because you want to have more ads, you want to have more hooks, more possibilities to basically mix and match. But so if you're new, which most of my viewers are not, you basically fully focus on creating iterations and variations from winning ads of competitors. If you're already advertising for a long time and spending a lot of money, you look at the best performing ads, the best performing static images, the videos, the hooks, you break them down, see which ads are performing the best. And what you usually do is you look at your hook rate and you look at your hold rate, and then you start pairing them, right? So some videos can have like a 40% hook rate, which is super good, but their hold rate is only 2%. So what you do is you take this one and you iterate it with a hold rate of a video that has like 10%, because then you pair these together and your ads are already instantly better because you hook them better and they make sure that people watch longer. On top of that, if you want to go deeper into it, you'll always have to look at the average view rate as well, because then you know exactly how many seconds people watch, because you can have an insanely high hook rate but only 2%, or like the video is being watched like 5 seconds, right? That does not work at all, right? Unless of course the ROAS is high, CPA is low, etc. Those are always primary. The ROAS, CPA, always primary statistics that you have to look at. The hook rate, hold rate is basically secondary to see how you can make ads better, as well as the CPC, right? Level 2 setup is basically that you start mixing and matching. You have your 3 different hooks. From those 3 different hooks, you start creating 3 different bodies with all different type of structure, right? You have the C, pass plus S structure that I use, which is a call out, problem, agitate, solution. You have the CS plus pass, so which is basically call out, social proof, problem, agitate, solution. You have all sorts of different things that go from problem aware to solution aware to product aware to the CTA. But you basically mix and match everything from the hooks, the 3 different hooks, to 3 different bodies that have a different approach, talking about your product, 3 different CTAs, and then 3 different headlines. With just this setup alone, you already go from 3 outputs, 3 different ads, to 81 different ads, which is already a huge jump just by combining all of these things. And that way you're able to have more data, more testing, more results on how you can iterate. Now, the headlines is a thing that a lot of ecom brands underuse. It's something from the info space that a lot of people use. A good one is Cole Gordon. He's super good at those things. But so the headlines basically, if you look at it, is you can have different headlines, obviously, which is your problem. You have your solution and you have your audience, what you're calling out, right? How do they look like? The problem is, for example, you can't sleep. Solution is fix your sleep with this pill. Or the audience call out is, did you just have a baby and you're not able to sleep? How you can make these things is basically a lot of the times you create a one-on-one ad, so square ad, and it's either here on top where you have the headline, and you have here your avatar talking, you know, don't mind my drawings, right? The other way is that you basically are able to do the same thing, but then instead of a headline above, you do the headline next to it, right? And then here you have your UGC video. This one is super good if you have vertical videos, right? So 9:16 format. This one is good if you have like landscape videos or basically 1:1 videos, right? But so with these things, you already start having a lot more outputs. Now, this third layer of those things is that you find the winning hooks, you find the winning bodies, you iterate on those, you find the winning headlines, and what you start doing is you start creating different avatars, right? So for example, if you're selling a sleep pill for mothers, you can use a white woman, right? You can use a black woman. You can use an older lady. You can use a mom in a different situation. You can use a mom in a luxurious house, a mom in a normal house. With all of those things combined, you go from 3 combinations to 243 combinations, which is insane amount. You go literally from 3 to 81 to 243 combinations. You see how those things play into the Meta Andromeda. You basically make sure that you have a proven concept that you iterate on, that you know that works, and from those proven concepts, you create way more different iterations, different avatars, different look and feel, different editing styles, those things, and you start getting more and more lottery tickets, which is super important. Because the more lottery tickets you have, the more chances you have to become a millionaire. And that's how you have to look at it. The lottery tickets that you buy are your ads. And the pot that you can win is basically your revenue or beating meta ads. As we all know, if you're good at ads like we are, you are basically printing money, right? And if you want us to run your ads, there's a link down below where you can book a call with me. We'll do a full creative audit. But let's go to the fourth level, which is basically combining desires, emotions, experiences into it. That all comes down, all of these things come down into your ICP, right? Normal people, they do ICP on like demographics, they're this age, they have this gender, but that stuff is cookie cutter approach, does not work, right? So we start laying everything down, right? So you, from this setup, you still have, what was it, 243 combinations, I think, yeah. But then you start looking at different desires. So you take your winning concepts and you think, okay, this winning hook with this body is talking about this desire. What if we just use the exact same hook, but focus on a different desire? So you go from one desire to two desires, three desires, core desires that you talk about. With those desires come the experiences, and you have four experiences always: a situational experience, a product experience, current experience, and a past experience, right? Those give you four extra combinations that you can use inside of your body. So you start building more and more and more different types of content, right? Situational experience is literally a situation you were in, which is basically, I just had a baby or I'm pregnant. Product is, for example, if you're not able to sleep, that you used blackout curtains, that you used sleeping pills. Those are all things that you can use. Current situations is, I'm pregnant right now, which creates urgency. Past experiences create relatability. So I just had a baby. And by using those experiences, it looks like you're talking to that person straight away. It doesn't look like you're just addressing everyone, you're talking specifically to that person. With those experiences come emotions, because you're not able to sleep and you've used X, Y, and Z, and you're still not able to sleep, so you become frustrated. And there you have 6 primary emotions and a bunch of secondary emotions. So you see, you have 4 extra combinations. Now you have 10 extra combinations, or even more, right? Because you do 4 multiplied by 6 even, multiplied by 243. You have your joy, anger, fear, sadness, disgust, surprise. Biggest thing here that you have to look out for with emotions is that the triggers are completely different. The emotion of fear is something universal. Everybody can fear or they become like surprised or something, but the triggers are different. I can become like, I can have fear when a dog is barking at me or charging at me, but a dog owner might not be having fear because like, okay, it's a normal thing. But they will become fearful if, for example, a guy with a gun is looking at them, right? So the triggers are different. Then on top of that, you have your behaviors, and basically that is what people do based on their desire. So you go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then what you have to do is you can combine all of these things. So you go from your hooks, your bodies, your call to actions, the headlines, the avatars, the desires. Always use one at a time, never mix desires, like two, you never use 2 desires. The emotions, experience, and behaviors, and then you have endless creative options. And because you have endless creative options, you basically have a lot of lottery tickets. And because you have a lot of lottery tickets, the chances of you making a lot more money is just going through the roof, right? That is super important because you have so many potential combinations that you're able to test that you know exactly, okay, hook 6 works perfectly with with body 3, with the CTA, the first one. The headline 12 works perfectly with that. And so you're able to combine all of these things. And so you're able to actually start testing way more specifically, buy more lottery tickets and making sure that you're able to bypass this Andromeda update. But I will give you this. The most important thing for you still is that you know your ICP. If you're just targeting demographics or you're just hoping a desire or just like creating desire out of thin air, that doesn't work, right? Desires are channeled, not created. So do your research. I have a whole separate video about those things as well. I have a whole community about this that you can click down the link below to just have all the training. If you have questions, you can ask them there. And if you're already spending between 5 to 10K a month on ads and you want to scale way further with profitable ads, click the link down below, book a call with me. And without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it.